morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio. So today, we've got a very important announcement, which has come down from the folks over at the Pokémon Company regarding the format for the World Championships. And up till now, there has been a pair of very important questions that we've needed to know. Number one, will the rotation happen before Worlds or after Worlds? And number two, will Lost Origin be legal for Worlds? Because remember, Lost Origin is going to be, we would imagine, an August set. I don't believe the release date has been officially announced. And regardless, there's always a question of whether a set is legal or not. And if you're watching this after the release date has come out, it doesn't matter. That's been a question we've had for months. Is the August set going to be legal for Worlds? Well, now we have an answer to both of those questions. Pokemon have gone and told us definitively. Standard format rotation information. For the last few years, the Pokémon TCG standard format rotation has occurred in either August or September. However, the next rotation will not occur until early 2023. This means that cards with the deregulation mark can be used at the 2022 Pokémon TCG World Championships. The newest expansion that will be legal for play at this event will be the Pokémon TCG Pokémon Go expansion. The exact date for the next Pokémon TCG standard format rotation will be announced later. As stated in the 2022 Pokémon TCG Championship Series Season Format Rotation article, when the next rotation occurs, all cards with the deregulation mark will be removed from the standard format. Okay, so in terms of the World Championships, it's super simple. Pokemon Go will be legal. I mean, that's obvious. It's going to be legal for like the middle of July. Lost Origin will not be legal. And the rotation will not have occurred. To put it another way, we've got the North American International Championships happening this weekend. That means that the format in which the North American International Championships is held will be the same format as the World Championships once you add in Pokemon Go. It's not exactly the same format, but it is largely the same format. You add in the cards from Pokemon Go, which is a small set, and then you've got the same format. Basically, when we get to July the 15th and Pokemon Go is legal, we're stuck there until Worlds happens. And we've seen before, one of the big memories from Worlds, for me at least, was seeing Gardevoir GX win Worlds the weekend it became legal. That was a card that wasn't legal, could not play it, and then it became legal, and then it won Worlds. Literally won the World Championships like the weekend it became legal. The Friday of the event was the first day it was legal for tournament play, then it went and won the whole thing, and that was honestly kind of awesome. I love seeing Worlds in unfamiliar formats. It's not what we're getting this year, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a good month to really get to grips with this format before we end up hitting the World Championships. And that's going to be very interesting, because a month is quite a long time to actually try and figure out exactly what's going on, and this is awesome. Now, we'll get back to Worlds in a minute, but there is a couple of really important things which have essentially been announced about the rotation. Firstly, it will happen. I told you guys it was going to happen, because it always happens. And if you look at the rotation announcement from last year, they told us there was going to be a rotation. They literally said in the rotation announcement last year, for example, the 2023 season rotation, that's the one we're going into when the rotation happens, will remove all cards with a deregulation mark from the standard format. The exact date of that rotation will be announced at a later time. So they literally told us rotation was going to happen. But we know not only is it not happening before Worlds, it's not happening before the new year. And this raises a very interesting question. And I've got to give a shout out to like half of you watching here, because that's how many people it feels like made this exact prediction when I did my Will There Be a Rotation video. Because are they actually going to sync up our rotation with Japan? Now, let's be clear. They have not confirmed that we are rotating alongside Japan. That has not been confirmed. That has not been announced. That is not, as it stands at the moment, happening. Now, that's not to say it won't happen, and it is starting to feel an awful lot like it will, but a bunch of people are going to see this announcement and go, oh, we're syncing up with Japan's rotation. And we might be. But there is no actual proof that we will be, and that is very, very, very important. Maybe there'll be a rotation that puts us directly in line with Japan. Maybe there won't. But it is starting to feel like there will. Now, the good news is, I made a video last year on November the 6th about Japan's rotation. Because why would I not? And essentially, Japan did their rotation last year on the 14th of January, which just so happened to be the release date of Starbirth, the main set that would become our Brilliant Stars. So essentially, Starbirth came out, and on that day, Japan went, right, let's rotate to Regulation Mark D onwards, and obviously we'd rotated on September the 10th, so there was that weird period between September the 10th and January the 14th, where our rotation was more restrictive than Japan's. Now, if we assume Japan goes like last year, then that means that their first set of the year will be in January. For anyone that's wondering, it will actually be the Scarlet and Violet sets, because in the same way that Starbirth was the start of year 3 of Sword and Shield, we would expect the January set to be the start of year 1 of Scarlet and Violet. That is not confirmed. Although do remember, we're actually a little bit late, because in previous generations, Japan had actually introduced the new block with a set in December. And we're not actually doing that this year. They're waiting till, well, at least January. You know it's 2023. We don't have an exact date for it. So, yes, it makes perfect sense that Japan would rotate in mid-January, and that we would also rotate in mid-January, and we would completely sync up. Because one thing that's really important to note, we know that Pokemon want to sync up with Japan. Pokemon have said in the past that what they want to do is get us closer to having a proper worldwide format, and this is going to do that. Once again, do not jump to conclusions. We cannot say we are syncing our rotation with Japan, but I think it is absolutely fair to say it is really likely. Like I've said, Japan's rotation last year happened on the 14th of January, the release of their first set of the year. So it just makes so much sense that we would see Japan rotating with the release of the first Scarlet and Violet set to Regulation Mark E onwards, and that we would do it on the same day. Because bearing in mind, we've now got the same rotation as Japan. We used to do certain sets on, and then that would catch some stuff. We'd find there was like a little mini set in Japan that was still legal for us that wasn't for them. Now that we got Regulation Marks, things are, in terms of which cards are legal, it's really nice and tight. We have the same as Japan. The only two things that were left is, first of all, let's have rotation on the same day, and then let's have releases at the same time. Now, because Japan does smaller, more regular releases, that's unlikely to happen. If you take Astral Radiance as an example, that is our set. We get sets once every 3 months. Astral Radiance for us was made up of the mini set Battle Region in Japan, that was Sword and Shield 9A, and then the double set of Space Juggler and Time Gazer, which was Sword and Shield 10. Not to mention, of course, that we also see things like the Starter Deck 100 that just don't get released over here, so we end up having to take those cards and bring them in. So we're not going to have proper synced releases with Japan, because our releases are too different. But we're going to get our first Scarlet and Violet set in February. That's not confirmed, but it's as good as. And Japan's going to get their first Scarlet and Violet set in January. Again, not confirmed, but near enough. So that does mean we are at least moving these releases closer together, and that makes me very excited indeed. So, the bullet points that you need to know. Rotation is not happening before Worlds. Pokemon Go will be legal, but that will be the last legal set. Rotation is happening in 2023 and is likely to sync up with Japan, if not day and date, very, very close. Although I cannot stress this enough, that has not been confirmed. And even though a bunch of people are going to say it's been confirmed, it has not been confirmed. Very likely, and makes sense, and the timing works out, is not the same as actually confirmed. So yeah, this is pretty big news, quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen. This is pretty big news, and now you know. So now it's over to you guys. How do you feel about knowing that the rotation is not going to happen and we're not going to have Lost Origin legal, so we're going to have a format for a month running into Worlds? How do you feel about the possibility of syncing up our rotation with Japan? Tell me any of your thoughts in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.